Hello everyone, and greetings from the Midwest on the banks of the Missouri River. I'm teacher Kimberly. I know there are lots of videos you could be watching right now, so thank you for choosing this one. I'm glad you are here. Today's event is 7 reasons why I choose to be an online teacher. I was recently at a family event, and a relative of mine asked me, why do you choose to teach online? Because I do work full-time in a brick and mortar school in a classroom with little kids, 4-year-olds, and it's physical, it's tough, I come home tired, but yet I still teach online. So my 7 reasons why I choose to be an online teacher. And maybe this will help you to find your why. Number 1, in some cultures, when a woman learns to speak English, it gives her knowledge. Knowledge is power, which brings me to reason number 2. I love knowing that I have empowered women around the globe, that I have helped to give them a voice, and I've given them power to speak up if they know English. And there's some jobs that women can do, but they can only do it if they speak English. And I just find that very empowering. Reason number 3. This is a fun one. I'm single. What else would I be doing at 5 a.m. in the morning? Reason number 4. I stay young by increasing my knowledge about the online world. It's huge out there. You know how we used to call it the super highway, super information highway? Now it's like a whole nother world with Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and there's advertising, and people make money from doing online things, and then we teach, and I opened up my camera, and then I see a child who's in China, or I speak with an adult who's in Brazil and telling me all about the rainforest, and it's just, I just find that it keeps me young and vibrant, learning about all these things we can do online. And so I spend a few hours in the morning, and then in the winter, during the school year, I go to school, and then I'm with people, and little kids are so touchy-feely. So then I still am in touch with the world. It's just that virtual world. I just think it's just so amazing. Number 5. 5 has something extra on there. Money. It's crazy. Money shows up in my bank account. It just amazes me, because sometimes the paydays, it seems like it's kind of long from some of the online schools, but yet there's Cambly, they pay weekly. So sometimes I forget that I worked for Cambly, and you're only paid if you make more than $20, which sometimes I'm not always online long enough, because I just pretty much do reservations with students that I've built up a relationship with. So $22 will just like show up, and I'll be like, oh, how nice. Where'd that come from? That's a nice little bonus. I mean, and it's not much, but it just adds up. I'm just like, oh, yeah, that makes me smile. Yeah, that's right. And then sometimes more money than that shows up, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I was kind of tired that week. Yeah, how nice. Reason number 6. I love to teach. I've only been a certified with a diploma and certificate and everything from the state for 7 years. But before that, in my other jobs, I was always the one that would give the new people a tour, or I would be the one who would say, oh yeah, I'll train, the restaurant business, I'll train that new server, I'll train that bartender, or I'll teach that hostess what to do, or I'll pull her under my wing and help her out. I was always the one who did that. And when I had my son, he was so much fun to teach. I taught him baby sign language. He was speaking with sentences long before because of all that interaction. We would have great conversations. I would read to him. Every night we would read 4 books every night. And it's because it was so much fun teaching him. And that's why I decided to become a teacher and get my bachelor's degree in teaching and to finish, is because it is so great. Number 7. This is the best one. Reason number 7. I learned something new every day from every student. And I think about them later that day. I think of something a student said, or a question they asked, or how they worked so hard to pronounce the word balloon. Oh, that is a tough one. Balloon is very difficult to pronounce because of those L's. And how they learn, how I learned to pronounce their name. That can be very difficult. And I think about them the rest of the day. I just think of that student and what they said. And I still think of students from months ago. There was a student that I met who said, he asked if we could finish a little bit earlier. He was a teenager, and he's like, can we finish a little earlier? Because I really want to tell you about my vacation. And I was like, oh yeah, because as an English teacher, when you're teaching as an ESL English teacher, you know that the ultimate is when a student speaks freely and describes something to you. And when they're so excited and they're like, well, I want to tell you about this. I want to tell you in English. It's like, oh, bravo, bravo. That means that their fluency has increased. And I still think about that student, how he wanted to tell me about his vacation, and he saw this waterfall. And there's been other students also in the summer, and that's why teaching English online in the summer is so much fun. I always pick up lots and lots of extra shifts and work way too much. I'm in bed at like 8 o'clock at night so I can start working at 4 in the morning, because it's so much fun to talk with them in that fluency. And so that's my 7 reasons. That's my why. That's why I choose to be an online English teacher. Maybe you can find your why. Happy teaching. This is Teacher Kimberly.